Welcome back to the YouTube channel, gang. I'm your host, Major, and y'all already know this the Doghouse, man. Before we get into the video and the topic at hand, man, make sure y'all hit that like button. I see a lot of y'all viewing the videos, but y'all are not hitting that like button. It don't cost you nothing to do so. So hit the like button, comment, and subscribe, man. But let's get into the topic at hand, man. We talking about Georgia, and with Georgia being light years better than last season. I believe they will. I think a lot of us do believe they will be way better than they was last season. We don't have to speak about last season to keep going over it, man. It is what it is. We had plenty of drops. It is what it is, man. I'm gonna start with Gunnar Stockton on this one, man, because you got to start with the captain, man. So with Gunnar Stockton, man, most people that watch my channel, they know that I really wasn't sold on Gunnar, and it's just mainly because of experience. Nothing more, nothing less. It's just mainly because of the experience. Like, I just didn't feel like, I just didn't feel like he was ready. He came in late in the title game. Carson got hurt. He came in late and he took a big hit. So we do know one thing about him. He can take a hit. So that's a good thing, though. You know what I mean? We don't want him to take hits, but that's a good thing that he could take a hit and just bounce back up like nothing happened, man. So shout out to him for that. You know what I mean? But I think with this season, with him getting his start at Georgia, I don't think Kirby Smart and Mike Bobo is expecting him to do a whole lot. I just think they expect him to protect the ball, you know what I'm saying, take what the defense give you, and just basically make good decisions, you know what I mean? Because, this is his first start. It kind of remind me of when Jake Fromm came in for Jay Eason. Hey, man, just protect the ball, you know what I mean, and make good decisions with the ball, and take what the defense give you. That's all you got to do. You already got a team building around you. You already got these transfer wide receivers built around you, like Zachariah Branch and Noah Thomas. You know what I mean? Basically everybody, when you really want to think about it, because Zachariah Branch is a transfer, Noah Thomas, Kobe Young, as well as London Humphrey. I think the only starter out there that's not a transfer is Dylan Bell. And of course, Sokovie White, but we probably won't see him that much. I think he's still a freshman, so we probably won't see him as much. But the only starter that's going to be out there that's been with Georgia is Dylan Bell. But that doesn't really matter, man. If you at Georgia, then you a dog. You know what I mean? So I think, to make my point, like I say, Kirby Smart and Mike Bobo is probably not going to expect, or not expect. They're probably not wanting Gunnar Stockton to go out there and make all of these big time throws. He's not going to be throwing the ball 20 and 30 times. You got your running backs, man. You got good running backs like Nate Frazier, which is my guy. That's my guy. I've been screaming Nate Frazier's name all last season. I felt like he was just as good as ETN. You know what I mean? I wanted to see him on the field probably more than ETN. I'm not even going to lie to y'all, but shout out to ETN too. You know what I mean? You got Nate Frazier. You got Roderick Robertson. You got Cash Jones. And Cash Jones, man, we love Cash Jones at Georgia, don't we? We all love Cash Jones, man. He's going to be one of those guys that we throw in on third down, third and short or whatever, just to get that first down. He's very reliable, man. I think he's a real good running back, man. He's done been reliable for Georgia the few years that he's been with them. And, we're going to move on to Chauncey Bowens and Dwight Phillips Jr. and even Bo Walker. I think Bo Walker's a freshman also, and I think that, this running back room is pretty decent. I think that we're going to do some big things coming from the offense. I mainly want to highlight the offense. I could do a little roll call when it comes to the defense because, the defense, we only expect greatness from the defense. We got a defensive mind head coach. Glenn Schumann is probably one of the best defensive coaches in college football. But, we got Christian Miller, Jordan Hall, Xavier McLeod, Elijah Griffin. Hopefully he comes in and starts. Hopefully he starts. I'm not sure if he's going to start. KJ Bolden, CJ Allen. We got Dalen Everett coming back. You know what I mean? That's the veteran on the defense side of the ball. We got Chris Cole, Raylan Wilson, Justin Williams. So we are stacked, racked, and packed. We are deep on the defense, so I'm not expecting nothing less than greatness when it comes to the defense. So that's why I'm mainly highlighting the offense. I think for the most part, we all are going to be mainly focused on the offense just because of the simple fact of how bad we played last season. We still, did fairly well, but, I'm just speaking of the drops, you know what I mean? And that's why I say, like, I don't think Kirby Smart and Mike Bobo are expecting Gunnar Stockton to go in there and sling it around. Now, I did see something about Mike Bobo saying that he liked the gunslinger. He liked the fact that Gunnar Stockton is a gunslinger. I did see that, you know what I mean? So maybe they will let him get in there and freestyle a little bit. I'm not sure, you know what I'm saying? We'll just have to see for ourselves once the season starts, you know what I mean? I'm ready for whatever, you know? I'm ready for whatever, but if it was left up to me, yeah, I would just want him to just protect the ball, you know what I mean? And just make good decisions with the ball, because things can get out of hand. I think for Carson Beck last season, I think, and I hate to keep talking about Carson Beck, but I think the difference between Gunnar and Carson Beck, I think he felt like he had to wear the team on his back. I think Carson Beck felt as if, you know, he knew that he didn't have the talent that he had in 23. It's obvious. If you look at his record in 2023 versus 24, you can obviously see the difference. You know, you still had Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers in 23. So, you know, you had better talent that season than you did the 24 season. So I think with Gunnar, you know, with them building the team that he has around him right now, if those guys can gel well and Mike Bobo can make it work, man, I think we probably will have the top 5, or at least top 3, top 5 offense in college football. Hopefully that happens, man. I think if we put it all together, it definitely can happen with the level of guys that we have. You know what I mean? Dillon Bell, man, his aggressiveness is what I love about him. You know what I'm saying? I like his drive too. He's almost like a workhorse. It didn't show up so much last season, and I think that was due to, I don't know, it was just chemistry. The chemistry was off between Carson and the wide receivers last season. A lot of people were saying that they didn't want to play for Carson, but I don't believe that type of stuff. I just think that it wasn't no real leadership in the wide receiver room. You know, that's why Dillon wasn't playing at his best. But I do like the fact that he's aggressive. He reminds me of somewhat Kearis Jackson. You know, reliable and aggressive, and I love that, especially coming from the offense side of the ball. You know what I mean? Noah Thomas, I love the height. Kobe Young, same thing. I love the height. We typically don't get very tall wide receivers. I think the tallest wide receiver we had in the last year or two, it might have been George Pickens, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But yeah, man, those two guys, London Humphreys, I'm hoping to see more from him too, man. We hadn't seen much from London Humphrey. We seen a good little bit. You know, I feel like he's playing his role and doing what he's supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? So Kobe White, we probably get to see him in these first 2 games against Marshall and Austin Peay. We probably get to see a lot more from him than we'll see through the rest of the season. And then just in case anybody was to get hurt or transfer out, man, we still got CJ Allen and CJ Wiley and Taylor Taylor. So those 2 guys were highly recruited guys. I think Taylor Taylor was a 5-star wide receiver. So, you know, I don't expect to see nothing but good things coming from this offense, man. I'm just be honest with y'all. I don't expect to see nothing but good things come from this offense. I am very hyped up this season. I know y'all hyped up about this season and want to see what this offense is going to bring this 2025 season. I know that we're going to be SEC champions once again. You know what I mean? I hope we playing for a title this season, or if not, next season, because I think next season will be just as good. If this season turned out to be good, I know that next season is going to be probably even better. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. I'm just very hyped about this season. I think this season right here will be very telling for Mike Bobo, especially for the Mike Bobo haters or the people that don't, like Mike Bobo. I think this is going to be very telling because we can't necessarily, judge his coaching based off of the drops because he's not in there dropping passes. But what we can judge him on is how well, he calls plays. So I think this will be a telling season for Mike Bobo as well. You know what I mean? But all in all, I just think it's going to be a good season. All in all, I think that, if we put it together well, we're going to be dominating teams. You know what I mean? It's going to be the old Georgia football once again. It may feel like the 2023 season. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. If everybody can get the touches, if all of the wide receivers can get to, and let me not leave out the tight ends either, because you still got Oscar Depp and Lawson Lucky. Now, Oscar Depp, I thought he was going to be a lot more better than he played last season. I thought that he was going to be like a Brock Bowers, but that Brock Bowers is a once in a lifetime type of player. You know what I mean? You're not going to always get a tight end that's going to come in and play like that. But Oscar Depp, he does his job. He plays his role. You know, I'm starting to like Lawson Lucky too. Like Lawson Lucky have some glimpses. He shows up at times too. So, you know, I think that everybody is going to do fairly well. I think that this wide receiver core is going to stand up for Gunnar Stockton. Hopefully they go out there and make and get open for Gunnar like they didn't do for Carson. You know what I mean? Because that's one of the biggest things for me, man. Wide receivers not getting open. You know, it's not all, like I say, you can't always put it on Mike Bobo. It's up to these receivers to get open too. You know what I mean? That way Gunnar don't have to try to fit it in tight windows, you know. So, you know, at the end of the day, man, we're gonna have a great season. Hopefully we go out, you know, like I say, go out and play for that natty. You know what I mean? That's the main game that I really want to see us go out there and play. But if not, we will get that SEC title. Y'all already know what it is, man. I'm not going to hold y'all no longer, man. Y'all already know what time it is, man. It's the Dog House. I'm your host, Major. And I'm out, baby. Go Dogs.